Hello and welcome to this video on finding obtuse and acute angles for trigonometric ratios. I would recommend you pause the video and attempt these questions, and if you're having trouble then keep watching. First thing to understand is we're going to look at this obtuse angle sine 150. Can you see that blue angle there? So that's sine 150, right? Just looking at the blue angle, that is going to have a positive value because sine is positive in this second quadrant. Now, if we want to find the corresponding acute angle, we are just going to use the supplementary angles rule. So to find that little acute angle in there, which is equivalent, we're going to take away 150 from 180 since the full thing is 180. So once we have found that, we have our acute angle. Now, acute angles will always lie in that first quadrant, right? So we could replot this acute angle here and say that that's 30. And they have the same value. The same value as you look across. All right, sine is positive here and sine is also positive here. Its corresponding acute angle to sine 150 is sine 30. All right, now, so we can write it like that. This is the acute angle. This is the obtuse angle. Look at the relationships here. It is possible for an acute angle and an obtuse angle to have the same sine value. This is just what we did in the last slide. So if you've got some sort of obtuse angle, sine theta, its corresponding acute angle will be sine 180 take theta. But with cos and tan, they are actually negative in the second quadrant. So they're going to have a negative obtuse angle. See, in the second quadrant where all your obtuse angles lie, only sine is positive. So you need to remember these two rules here. And maybe just pause the video and try and make sense of these last few things here. So we've just got some examples, plugging some numbers in for theta here. The main thing is to remember is that cos and tan have equal and opposite signs. So let's check out this slide. The cosines and tangents of supplementary angles have equal numerical values, but opposite signs. So try to make sense of that. For acute angles, the trig ratios are positive. For obtuse angles, only sine is positive. Might take a little bit of practice. Let's get a different color. Find an obtuse angle to complete each statement. And I've got these relationships just summarized in the bottom left corner here. Sine 40. So let's actually draw it just to get an idea of what's going on. So we're finding an obtuse angle. And we know that sine 40 lies here. All of the acute angles lie in the first quadrant. So we've got 40. Now its obtuse, its corresponding obtuse angle is going to be, you just draw it like that. Know that that's 40. And the obtuse is going to be 180 take 40, which will be 140 degrees. And then you've got your all stations to central. Sine of that obtuse angle is going to be positive since sine is positive. It is quite different, I know. Let's just keep trying. Sine 65 is sine what of the obtuse angle? So we don't have to draw it every time like that if we memorize these relationships, okay? If you have sine of an acute angle, that is the same as sine 180 take that angle. So it just means to find the supplement, you've got to do 180 take the angle that you're given. All right, well, just remember those relationships. That's going to be 115. What about this? Cos 25 is negative cos something. I will draw this one just because it's important. Cos 25 is what obtuse angle? So you can just redraw it symmetrically like that and know that this is going to be your obtuse angle here. This is the obtuse. So how would we find that obtuse angle? We are just going to take it away from 180. 180 take 25. 155. And then you need to check the sign. All stations to central. Obtuse, when we come back here, obtuse angles, only sign is positive. So see, only sign is positive. That's why this cos has a negative sign here. SIGN. It's very confusing, isn't it? So we're looking at this relationship. Now for this one, tan 37 is negative tan something. We're just looking at, for obtuse angles, only sign is positive. So we know that to find the obtuse angle, we've got to subtract it from 37. You can look at that and see that we have this relationship. We're just going to take it away. 180 take 37 is 143. Okay. Acute angle to complete each statement below, you're just going to subtract from 180. Let's just do it like that. You're using that, but it's just quite a confusing formula, isn't it? So 180 take 150 is 30. All right. Sine 94 is sine something. Well, we just take away 94 from 180, 86, and they're both positive signs. Negative, so now it's asking to find an acute angle to complete each statement. An acute angle, again, we're just subtracting from 180 and making sure that these signs are different. The obtuse angle will have a negative sign, the acute angle will have a positive sign. So cos will be 180 take 110, 70. All angles in the first quadrant are positive. Okay. Negative 10, 159. Again, just take away 159. Acute angles positive in the first quadrant for tan, cos, and sine. And in the second quadrant, only sine is positive. So that's why you've got your obtuse angle as negative here, which corresponds to that relationship. And yeah, I know that was a little bit confusing, but maybe just go back and just really think about this slide here and this slide. Okay, it's just a little bit of thinking. But in the next video, we are going to be checking out how to find the exact value for these things. So I hope I didn't confuse you too much, and I will see you then.